We're calling it the Build Mission Fund, and you're going to see why. We are committing $200,000 for grants to existing businesses, existing small businesses here in Mission. All types of small businesses. To be brief, there'll be the $200,000 we think will reach 13 to 20 small businesses this fiscal year. Small businesses of all types, daycares, repair shops, cafes, restaurants. And the funds are go to improve, expand, repair, and provide working capital to these small businesses in Mission. Businesses of 30 or less employees, less than $1 million in revenue, and any other details and rules and compliance you can find on the website, which we'll talk about here at the end of the meeting. But the application is there, all the information is there, and we want people to use the website to drive the participation of these grants. If you think about it for a little bit, Mission has always been an entrepreneurial city. Going back to Tom Landry's father, who ran a mechanic shop just off of Conway, where Tom Landry learned his skills and hard work, to Taco Ole, who's been around for more than 50 years, to Jitter's Cafe, which we have here, 5x5, and just to name many small businesses in Mission. A very rich history. Ruby Red started a little over a decade ago and has also helped dozens of small businesses and has contributed already more than $600,000 to their assistance. You know, in the Mission EDC, we're based on 3 pillars. We're creating opportunities for investment, we're creating jobs, and we're enhancing the workforce. We think this fits exactly into what Ruby Red does in Mission. Sometimes small businesses need assistance. They don't necessarily need a handout, but they need a hand up, and that's what we're here to do. The Mission EDC also tries to stay out of the private sector, out of the way of private sector businesses. But when we need to help, we can. This funding additionally goes to not just the pockets of the business owners, but they'll in turn invest that into the local economy by hiring contractors, buying materials and services. So we're really proud that this is what it's going to do to expand the tax base and assist businesses. Now, while we're really proud to announce this, that's not where this ends. Ruby Red started as a competition, which Alex knows very well. He talked about that when he comes up. We're not getting rid of that. We'll do that next year. This is an addition, a 2.0 to the Ruby Red Ventures grant program. So we'll have the competition next year, and then we'll also have the Downtown Assistance Program relaunched next year as well. So if you don't qualify for this round, there'll be more coming. I want to thank Texas Regional Bank for their commitment to community, to their investment in community, and this is a great partner for us to have in this particular effort. Again, the Ruby Red Ventures is for existing businesses, at least 2 years in, up to $15,000, less than $1 million in revenue, and less than 30 employees. The rest you can get off the website, but we just want to make it clear that these businesses have to be in Mission. And I mean, that's the rule. We're proud of it, but I've already had emails saying, hey, I'd like to do this, but I'm in McAllen, and we applaud that, but this is for Mission. So we're proud of that. I mentioned Alex earlier because obviously this Ruby Red program would not be around if not for him. Way back in 2013, the original Ruby Red Ventures, which worked like the Shark Tank competition, was launched. Alex was hired just a little bit before that, brought on by Mayor Beto Salinas and really, Alex had one mandate when he was hired. Do whatever Beto tells you. Right. That was the mandate, but it also created an opportunity for Alex to be innovative, use creativity, and start programs and find a niche for the Mission EDC. And I remember we had a conversation way back when, it might have been 2010 or so, and Alex said, hey, look, everybody's chasing that car plant. Everyone wants to be that manufacturer, and we're talking about EDCs and cities, and it was true. He goes, let's find a niche for mission in this. Let's look at small businesses, and he was right. That's exactly what happened. And I was here at that time, and you can guess what has happened since Ruby Red was launched. Just about every city and every EDC from here to Brownsville has a small business effort now. It's something that gets funded, somewhere where they bring in. I'm not saying it was just him, but he brought notice, and this program brought notice to small businesses. Instead of just the SBA looking out for small business, thank you, Brian, for being here. Now we had cities and EDCs dedicated money for small businesses. And that was actually, the whole process was great when we started. We had so many new ideas and so many people coming in. And I don't know, Alex, you remember this, that Pilar was also here launching her business. And we had a lot of great ideas, and the UTRGV was very helpful at the time. And I remember these were for startups, not existing businesses. And we had a guy that said, hey, I want to come in and pitch the idea of starting a Spanish language radio station. And you remember that, right? And he had two challenges. He didn't have funding, and he couldn't speak Spanish. So that was a real challenge we had to deal with, right? So, but there were some really good ideas like that, and we were able to fund a lot of them. Like I said, over $600,000 worth for several years. But it made it exciting. But again, let me reiterate our appreciation to Texas Regional Bank for participating and having this commitment to this particular effort. It just makes sense. And just before I bring Alex up, I want to thank the the Mission EDC staff and team for doing such a great job to set this up, but also being supportive for this whole effort. And I want to mention everybody by name. Sometimes I miss, but this time I wrote it down. So Brianna, Kathy, our custodians, Imelda, Joel, Judy, Stephanie, Naxeli, thank you very much for helping us. One other person I'd like to thank who has been kind of being the leader in this effort is Belen. And she's done a great job in putting this together. And if you don't know who Belen is, she's the only one in our team that didn't wear red today to commemorate this effort. She's got the burnt orange. I don't hate her for that. That's good. But everyone, thank you for such a great job that you've done. Alex, we've known each other for 15 years or more, and you did a great job here. You brought me on back in 2015, 14, something like that. So without any further ado, Alex Meade is the Texas Regional Bank Executive Vice President. We all know him here very well, but we'd like to have him come up and say a few words on behalf of the bank and kind of share what his feelings are on Ruby Red. Alex.
Thank you, Teclo. This is a no-brainer for us, for Texas Regional Bank, to participate and be a sponsor in this effort. One, because I'm biased in the sense that this is a program that's near and dear. But let me give you guys a little history on this project. Ruby Red Ventures is the reason why this building exists. At the time, back in 2011, the EDC was going through a transition, and it was going through a transition that when the mayor did hire me, I essentially became the first CEO for Mission EDC. Mission EDC had never had a CEO before, and so the mayor hired me because the city was going through a transition, and so I took advantage of that transition to reinvent economic development as it relates to here in the city of Mission. And Teclo's right. It was easy to identify that all the EDCs were typically going after the big businesses. And as you know, Dr. Solis, that's where the jobs come, right? That's where people feel that's where the jobs come. But we forget about the local businesses and the impact they have in the community. They are, like every politician says, right, the lifeblood of the community. But this gave us an opportunity. At the same time, I was one of the younger EDC directors throughout the state, so I figured I could take advantage of that and try new things. And I remember EDC directors would tell me, you're doing the wrong thing. You should be focusing on things that generate jobs, because that's how you get measured, by jobs. And I would always tell them, well, I'm young, I don't know what I'm doing. If it goes wrong, then I'll just do what you guys do, right? And so I took advantage of the opportunity, but through Ruby Red Ventures, and as we started to see these applications come in, we started learning a lot from the community. And a lot of them started to let us know that they didn't really have a strong support system. And so from there, we went into training, and we started doing some training, and that's where Code the Town and a lot of the workforce development efforts came in. But it started through Ruby Red, and as we continued to expand that program, we would hold the classes at the local high schools, at the library, anybody that would allow us to have these training seminars with a small business development center, we would do it. And slowly but surely, it just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I remember the first class we had 8 participants, and then Pilar came in the second class, and we learned from people like Pilar. They would tell us these are the things that we need, but we can't find support anywhere. Pilar became our poster child, and I believe Teclo, she's going to say a few words.
Yes.
So I won't tell the story, but she became a poster child because everything we taught her, she literally took. In fact, it got a little too extreme because we had to be careful what we told her, because sometimes we would just tell her things just to get her out of the office, and then she'd show up and she's like, I did what you told me. And one of those times was, she said, look, I'm having an issue with supply, delivering product. And I said, well, you should just buy a truck. And she literally pulls up and she honks she has this monster 18, or not an 18 wheeler, but almost half the size. And I told Daniel, we need to be careful what we tell Pilar. But it was through Ruby Red that led us to this effort. And the class started with 8 people the first time. And it got to the point where we had to limit the number of people because the auditorium only fit 100. And so it started getting to where every quarter that we would do this program, we were getting more than 100 people to register. And slowly but surely, everybody knew that we were an open book. And so other cities, as Teclo mentioned, you start getting companies and entrepreneurs that say, I live in McAllen, how can I participate? We would literally say, go talk to your EDC and ask them to start their own program. And slowly but surely they did. And as a result of that, I think it's been really neat what you see. You have programs that started from Ruby Red, and they've evolved to be like even better, I think, than Ruby Red, but really cool programs. And also you have other buildings like Seed Building in almost every city here in the Rio Grande Valley, which is also really cool. But it all started with this. And so I appreciate Teclo giving me the opportunity, because I know 2.0 is going to be 1,000 times better than the 1.0. But it was something that we started to show that EDCs don't just focus on large businesses, but they also focus on the smaller business. And at the end of the day, there's more jobs through small business than there is through big business. So we need to continue supporting that. So Teclo, thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate you all letting me be here. Thank you.